What did the fox say?
It poisons everything. But in the shadows, a group of heroes arise.
Killing the
Oh,
intro song,
that
you
reminded me.
bastards.
By courage, they'll never
We didn't know we were.
compromise. Through treacherous valleys and mountains high, they fight for justice, never questioning why. Their hearts ablaze, united they stand against the forces of evil hand in hand. Oh, hear the legends of our sacrifice. In the face of darkness, we will rise with valor. Hearts will take a stand. Defend us, our Freya will save the land.
Good evening, everybody. Mike Geary for Geek Pride's Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign, The Legend of Our Sacrifice. With me tonight, as always, we have Conrad as Arno Jerkel.
I can confirm we're good to go.
We have Michael as Tharval Eldon.
Good evening.
We have Jace as Brother Gaddon.
Did you check the check engine symbol, by the way?
We have Lecky as Bartholomew Pringle.
If you absolutely have to grapefruit, just leave the spoon out of it.
we have Mark as Lance.
I feel like we're having a game of Knifey Spoony tonight.
And we have Vic as Saren Sanguine.
I can't. I can't.
I can't. All right. Okay. So. We had a quite eventful session last week. Lots going on. Lots of things have happened. We now have a new ally, I guess. Kiamat Redscale, one of the long bad guys that we've been dealing with for quite a long time, pretty much since day dot, has turned. He is now Draxus Goldmane, heir to the returned, heir to the Ember Throne, and he had been basically what's the word? He'd been controlled by some red
Enthralled.
witches.
Enthralled.
That's the word. Yeah, that's a better word.
That's it,
Enthralled. He'd been enthralled basically by some red witches who had pretty much been on his side. He'd done some. I think Draken had a dream sort of vision about him earlier doors where he'd sort of been a bit of a rebellious one and some stuff had happened, but he basically carried on and he was enthralled by these sort of these red witches on the behest of Tiamat or or more likely Therambor himself. And they have averted what was potentially going to be a fifth column attacking them from within by turning him. Now, obviously, the guy has done a lot of bad stuff. Irrespective of his enthrallment, he has killed a lot of people. He has done some really nasty stuff.
Giving people second chances is this group's calling card, isn't it?
Is it? Is it?
That's the joke, Ted.
Well, it's you lot. It's you lot that do this, not the newest ones. So Saren and Gaddon are out of it.
I am perfectly innocent. I don't do things like that.
Yeah. So,
luckily, there's only two OGs here. There's only two OGs, so I think we outnumber them.
There's no. I don't think there's a lot of sort of chopping off of heads and stabbing people through necks and stuff. I don't think there's second chances have not been given from even the OGs. But yeah, so he Niasil wasn't overly happy, and was close to beasting out and just killing formerly Kiamat, now Draxus, but effectively passed one of his tests, and with that, a bit more of Gregor sort of appeared within, so he kind of now recognizes you properly as yourselves. There's more of sort of Gregor in there now than there was. Not to say that Niasil isn't there, he is, but Gregor sort of found a bit more as well. So he sort of like took himself off, and Draxus is basically broken down in tears, got upset. He's realized that his son's dead, and all the stuff that he's done in the past, and said he deserves to die, and basically he's now going to try and make amends for his past. And it's not even indiscretions, past murder sprees. So yeah. And that's pretty much where we left it. We have, from this point, I think he basically stated that there are obviously, well, they're not 100 anymore. There are like 90. How many Dragonborn did you kill? Like 10 of them or something. But there's about 90 Dragonborn who were under his command, so still around. And he basically wants to try and persuade them that they need to sort of switch sides. But obviously with that, there could be problems if they don't, because there's a lot of them, and that would need to be dealt with. But he thinks that's something that needs to be done. So we can go from there. Apart from that, we are on day, let's say day 8.
I think it was 8.
Yeah, I think it's about 8.
So you've got about 4 days worth of stuff before we start rolling on what's happening. You have a destroyed sort of wall in the northeast there. You have a destroyed camp, refugee camp in the south. Bit of a subsidence in the moat area in the southeast. And obviously you've had to quieten down a potential riot with some of the people who saw you, saw you kill some people in the not intentionally, but trying to kill the false Hydra, and then obviously blaming you for all their woes and all the shit that's happening to them at the minute and stuff. So that had been sort of dealt with a spell. So that's still bubbling slightly, but currently under control. And that's it. So I'll leave it with you guys. What's next? What's happening? What do you want to do?
Are we rested? I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah, we can give you a rest, but that will make you. I think that'll take you into day 9. Oh, actually, this.
Yeah, long rest will be day 9. So
day 9.
Right. Is there anything we want to take care of before we long rest then? Or is
yeah, there was. What happened with the whole? Obviously, the High Paladin confirmed death and Arno's plan of.
We haven't got that far yet.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So that's what we need to resolve now, is get that cloak and ring on Lance and try and convince some people that he's to take charge of the defensive effort.
Because without somebody in charge,
we've got a Dragonborn to back us now, rather than objecting.
Yeah. But obviously, he's sort of pushing that you need to deal with the. If I think his view will be that if the Dragonborn who are under his command are still around, and they see that the Red Witches and stuff are gone and things is happening, they may cause problems. So he feels like they need to be dealt with sooner rather than later. And you are on day so you're on day 9 now. If you've rested already, so you're helping. So yeah, you guys were helping Saren. Let's see. So Hydra being killed was on day 8. Day 9 is basically what you've been doing, wandering around, killing killing Red Witches, was day 9. So any rest of that will take you to day 10.
There's got
rest
to be
for the
some
wicked.
kind of there's got to be some kind of uncertainty going around the sanctuary of like disorder. Like they don't know who's in charge.
Yes.
They'll start remembering the High Paladin now, right? So
Yes, but they won't know if he's dead or not.
no, but they'll remember him. So
Yeah.
they'll either be looking for him or it'll be in disarray. So I think we need to go and deal with that first and congregate the generals and whoever were the seconds and thirds in command and
I would
speak to.
suggest at this point we can do both. In that, I would suggest that I know, don't split the party, etc., etc. But if Barty and Gadden stay with me and Arno, and if Seren, Tharabon, and his brother go and help with corralling the Dragonborn, I think that seems like a good split.
Well,
because-
he Draxus basically says he will get them summoned to the town square and get them formed
But I
up.
think he needs someone there to A, look after him, and B, back him up.
Why don't
Because
we
he's a little bit
summon
exposed.
everybody to the town square and have a town
Yeah.
hall? Basically,
Town meeting sort of thing.
town meeting needs to be sort of held.
I would prefer to deal with
ex-
the Dragonborn separately. If they go nuts, they could do a lot of damage. If we put
Well,
them in
then-
the same
You have
area as
soldiers, to be
everybody
fair.
else.
You do have other soldiers and stuff, so you can
True.
place them around the area.
Yeah, but we've got no command over them yet.
Yeah, exactly. This
So
is what I'm
why
saying,
would
if
they
we
listen
do
to us?
different
That's a very
paths,
valid point. Yeah.
If they go nuts, if they're in a contained space somewhere, then at least they're less likely to be easily be able to rampage. And
I would
cost
say
us a
it,
lot more
it
combat
is
strength.
more important to get a level of commanders sorted here first. Because if those Dragonborn go nuts, those soldiers are going to look for some kind of leadership, some kind of command. And right now we've got Jack.
Okay. All right. So, how are you going to sort of get around? There'll be soldiers sort of placed around. It'll be on the walls. They'll be sort of in different areas of the settlement, sort of the temple complex.
Would we know about a sort of a not a call to arms, but a call that would exist in this kind of place, like a bell that would signify,
there will
assembly?
you'll obviously think there's going to be some sort of alarm bell. What its signals are, I don't think you'll know off by
Okay.
heart.
My concern would be, though, if we wanted to use that would call every soldier. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And maybe we
We
don't
have
want
no
that. We just we would just want the second tier command basically.
Yeah. Do we not can we not find out who the commanding officers, etc., are? Because there's got to be a chain of command, so there's got to be who the commanding officers
Why
are,
don't we
etc.
go to that cleric first that we talked to before, and start
Okay.
with him? 'Cause he should be able to point us to the right people.
Yes.
Whose name I completely
Yeah.
forget. It. Brother Luther, was it?
Possibly.
Luther.
Brother Van Dross.
Brother Luther, yeah, because you got 30.
Yeah.
You got yeah. Van
Suddenly, life is a misery.
Brother
So
Van
good.
Dross is so much better than Brother Luther.
Yeah, that's
Brother,
true.
oh, he's now Brother Van Dross then. Okay, so brother.
Yeah.
Brother Luther of Vandross.
And then when he gets to the town square, he's just gonna be like do 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 do.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
They came into the town hall and I saw these people. They needed healing. They were crying. I came to and love it. Sorry, I'm out of it. Just fucking brain rot. I
Okay,
love Luther
so
Vandross.
you're going to talk to Brother Van Dross, to Brother Van Dross, to have a sing along and try and find out who's in command of different areas, to bring them together for a chit chat. Yes.
Yes.
Who's going then?
Dragonborn people.
Arno needs to stick with Lance because of his silver tongue deception. So he needs to do the influencing part of the talking.
Okay.
We will do whatever.
So the rest. So you're going to do that. Talking to. I'll not sort of we'll just do some rolls and stuff, so we'll not sort of we'll try and get as much done today as we can before sort of the end of it. But do some rolls, talk to Vandross, talk to the command. What about the rest of you? What are you doing while he's doing that?
I think Gadon and Nyasel would be good to come along with me as well, because they are symbolic in the absence of the High Paladin, right?
Who's going with you? Sorry, Nyasel and
Gadon.
Gadon. Okay, so Gadon and Nyasel are going with you. That leaves.
Yeah, please take us away.
That leaves Saren, Barty, Tharavel, and Saravel.
Leaves the sneakies.
The sneakies. Yeah, so things you can do, you can sort of take yourselves out to try and finish off the rest of the sort of surrounding settlements. You can go to and try and sort out the sort of dealing with this wall, but obviously again you probably don't have any command currently at the minute, so but you can try and sort of put some people together and try and at least sort of, you're not going to fully fix the wall in 4 days, but you'll be able to do something to sort of patch it up. What else are you going to do?
Just gonna have to terrify people into doing things again. I'm gonna have a bad reputation around here, so I'm real.
Yeah, you can try and train some people for the oncoming attack. You can, or you can go out and get supplies and try and get some more men and stuff as well. Or if there's anything else you feel like you need to do or want to do, then by all means, let me know.
I'm sorry, just looking at Jason's video.
Oh,
Ah.
I am a brother Vandross stan.
I like your color coordinated as well.
Yeah, you're wearing the same
I
shirt.
know, right? I know, right? I didn't even mean for that to happen, but it just did. Sorry. Oh my god.
You are on one this evening, aren't you?
Hey, listen, I was trying to be quiet here, so you lot talk. I'm
Right.
gonna carry on.
By the way, there is a morale scale for the people within the complex and stuff, and I won't tell it to you. You just have to gauge it from how people are acting and stuff. So,
What if, with Arno's performance check, or base performance of like 16, he can just tell people that it can never be too much, never too much, never too much? No, I'm kidding. Sorry, he needs to perform. He needs to do a performance though. At some point, he's gonna have to lift their morale. So maybe when he's around with Lance and he has an opportune moment, maybe he should rally the crowd. Obviously, when we decide it, can we also run perception
so
checks to see that?
what are you?
That's not a bad shout, actually. That might actually be a good work. Just to
Well, you know that
cheers
from the
up
so
and
currently there are pissed off people because you've had to cast a spell on them to quiet them down. It's not sort of to the point of mutinous. It's just people. Some people, the local gamins are not happy and stuff. So
Who had calm emotion? Was that Gadon or
It's
Barty?
me. Yeah.
Maybe you can walk around finding the most disgruntled people and calm them down.
Well, the ones I've already impacted were the first lot near the wall that had gone down, so they're calmed down. But obviously, that's just one part of it, because once the spell wears off, they're gonna be panicking again. So we need to set them objectively, and we didn't actually do that. We just went straight in to deal with Kiamat. So once we come back out again, the spell would have worn off. We will see panicking people at that area, and whilst Lance and Arno are off doing things, I was going to say that probably the best use of Gadon's time is healing and also getting people, like whilst we're waiting for a chain of command, at least sort out the initial what's the shitstorm that's just nearby on the north side.
okay,
So he'll probably be on damage control.
okay. So you're going up.
He probably wouldn't even be talking at that point after he's heard the first set of screaming, and he's like, "Well, you guys look like you got it," and he pisses off.
Okay, so you're up north. Who's going with Gadon then?
Bart
doesn't
can go
need
with
a
Gadon
person.
because he's not really got much else
Okay.
they can really do until troops start coming.
I suggest not Saren because everyone's scared of her anyway.
So Saren and Tharaval, Naya, so Lance. Oh, sorry. Lance. Arno. Niasil. You guys are
And we've
all...
Did we say we've rested, or is this before we rest?
Yeah, you would. I'd say you would have rested
with
after.
we did the long rest with the tiny hut.
Yeah.
So we should have really been all juicy, and that's because we all decided to pop off.
Yeah,
But
you've
I
done it.
think-
Yeah, you've done your long.
That's true.
Okay, so Tharavel, Saravel, Saren, you can, but you're. It's up to you. What you want to do. You aren't. You can. Saren can go around and start terrorizing the neighborhood again and try and you know. I don't think the rest of you have good persuasions, but I guess you can deceive them. But it's up to you.
I don't know. Tharavel and I was going to say Saravel was going to go off and launch Operation Hearts and Minds.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. By all means, if you want to do any intel, if you want to sort of go sally out and sort of try and find out what's going on or who's coming and stuff like that, you can try that as well. You can do that as well. It's up to yourselves.
Well, I think, like I said, I think Saravel will stay and he will, he's going to try and raise morale a bit. Tharavel, he could do the same. His persuasion's not too bad, but I think he's maybe going to go and do a bit of sneaking.
Whereabouts is he sneaking?
Might I suggest looking to cut off the entryway that the
Your
dragon
audio's quite low, Mark.
Oh. Try that now.
Yep.
How's that?
Yep.
Yep.
Sorry, I caught my mic at some point. Might I suggest that Tharavel and Seren look to cut off the potential for reinforcements from Therenborn's end coming in from the same way that Drakon and the Red Witches did?
Draxus.
Yeah, we can do that.
Sorry, no, he was Draxus. He was sorry, yeah,
Tiamat.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would be an idea, is to see if you can obstruct it and set traps and stuff.
Well, the
Just
thing is,
so that
they
we
were
can-
set. I'd say that is now closed because it was the Red Witches keeping it open, the portal open and stuff. But
Worth checking. That was
yeah.
all.
That being said,
I'd
it
say it's
is obviously not covered by the anti-magic field, so
Yes.
Yeah.
So my point is, we know there's a gap in our defences, which they are aware of. Let's not leave it open.
Oh,
Sure.
in that case, Barty can go with them and cast Forbiddance from that spot.
Okay.
And that'll cover like a 10,000 foot square, so that should.
cool. We can just do that then. Yep.
Watch your cover artist.
Cool.
Yeah,
So you
so
are going up here.
I'll-
Shut that door, hell, just like that.
Tharavel. What are you up to? Sorry, you're going around doing what?
So yeah, he's going to go and do a bit of recon. So he'll probably leave the Bastion, I'm assuming. I'm not really sure the options of places that he can go from where he's been, like, but
Well, we'll check out the map. We can sort of have a shifty. So. Anything?
Oh. This is cool.
Oh, it's on the. Okay, so. Yes, that's what we want.
well, we can come back. Oh, okay. I was going to say you can come back to that and do everybody else's stuff first, or
Yeah, so we've got where you guys are. You've sort of kind of gone down here, Bastion of the Morning Star. You've seen in the south, you've seen them sort of landing on the beaches in that direction. Saren and Lance have, Stoneberry, Lightview, Quickfield have been evacuated, and you've got some men from that and some supplies. Summerfield and Pilgrim's Rest are still sort of there, and then obviously the Ristha Keep is also unaware. Oh, and there's also Mythwind as well down there.
Wind. So sorry, they're unaware of. So again, if we were going there, it wouldn't really be for recon. It would be more for.
Summerfield, Pilgrim's Rest, and Ristha would be basically, this is that being said. I know actually, I guess Lightview, Quickview, they would go west. So Summerfield, because there's nothing in that yet, so they won't be aware. And it would just be a case of get out before the enemy comes, prepare yourselves, and see if you can persuade anybody to sort of help you hold this position.
Well, if that's the case, then it could maybe send Ceravel to Summerfield and risk the keep to try and persuade people to leave or potentially join and seek refuge.
Okay, so he's going Summerfield, risk the keep on Pilgrim's Rest. Is he going to go out Pilgrim's Rest, Summerfield, risk the keep that way, or is he just going to go to those two?
So if he's got time, it basically, how long have we got? What, 4 days or something?
Yeah, 4 days, and I'll start rolling dice. So you got, let's see, you'll be on horse. So let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. So that's half a day there, half a day to sort of, persuade people. Then 5, 10, 15, 20. Say another half a day to get the Summerfield, another half a day, so that's 2 days. Then 5, 10, another half a day, so 3 days, and then
a day to return.
A day to return.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that then.
Okay.
Tharaval, he will head south to Mythwind and Waterside.
Okay, so that is Mythwind. It's going to be 5, 10, 15, 5, 30. Just taking you a day to get the with Mythwind probably on horse. Waterside, you don't really need. Well, I guess you could check out if there's the enemies there or not. So you get the Mythwind. It will be a day, so you'd be on day 10 when you get to there. Okay, right. So let's get back to everybody else. Okay, Saren, what are you doing?
Am I not going with Barty to the hole?
Right, okay, so you're going off with Barty. Yeah. Gaden is helping in the northeast, and the rest are going to...
I will already cast a Calm Emotions on the first group of people that he would have seen that's around the area, like where the problem is, so... Yeah.
Okay, cool. As you're, like you've said, you see people who are worrying. You see some of them. There are those people who were looking slightly angry, are still looking somewhat angry. Not everybody is. There are people again who are very thankful that you're there. You still get sort of, you get some little kids coming up and giving you flowers and things, and they're grateful that you're helping. Obviously, you cast a spell and keep them sort of calm. There's, the wall to the northeast has been not completely destroyed, but the towers are still there, but the sort of central wall has been breached. It's sort of gone into the moat, causing this sort of effectively a causeway across the moat, which is potentially problematic when it comes to a siege. It will take a while. You've got some workmen sort of standing around, not really doing very much, not sure what they should be doing. They're sort of kind of looking at the breach, sort of scratching their heads. You say, who's in charge here anyway? Pointing at each other and things like that. Where's Brother Vandross? And trying to find him and stuff. So,
he's not gonna intervene and say too much about what happened, who to follow and whatnot. But he will tell anybody that's injured to make their way over to the temple's infirmary and seek help there, and also just sort of encourage people to get out of the way. And anybody else, he's just kind of he will look around to see if there is a soldier of stature of some sort, but otherwise, he'll expect that at some point Arno and Lance will have figured something out. So
Yeah, I'll not
I
make
think
you.
he's got enough.
Yeah, I'll not make you roll it or anything. You know, you'll find a sort of, you know, suitably ranking officer and persuade him.
Oh no,
that-
he's not looking for. He'll just identify them, but that's about it. And then, as in, like, he knows they're there. He won't say anything, but he'll notice the wall, and then he will make a note of it. And then, if he can see Seren and Barty within 30 foot of him, he will automatically then cast message, which is a cantrip, to relay the message to Barty, telling him that he spots that this wall is royally fucked.
Yeah, that's fine. You can see them as you're walking. You know, it's not within 30 feet, but I guess sort of they've walked up and then decided they're going to do something else, and you've seen them on the way back. So we're not overcomplicate it. But yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So in terms of like casting this spell where the portal was, I can just cast Forbiddance, and then no creature can like teleport in or use a portal or open a gate or shift from another plane.
Okay, cool.
It's over 40,000 square feet, up to 30 feet high. So it's like it pretty much does that cover most of
Yeah,
the
the whole area. Yeah.
And then Barty will elect, because there's only a couple that he can choose from. Unfortunately, Dragonborn's not on there, but like, you can have Celestials, Elementals, Fae, Fiends, and Undead. Will Barty know if it's likely a Fiends or Undead that might be sort of complementing the army?
You won't know because you don't have any you won't have any intel on what's coming, and you know Dragonborn are a big part of the army because that's what you've been seeing for the last sort of few months. But you know you're not sure what. I guess you could do a history check to see what the last invasion consisted of, and then maybe sort of.
That sounds fair.
Yep.
Yeah, I suppose it's just based off like what we've experienced as well, with like like the Red Witches and stuff.
Yep.
If anything sort of conveniently falls into
roll
that
me
category.
Roll me a history check.
La Histoire.
Yep. So you're quite read. You've read up on the Battle of Whispering Shore, and you're from what you've witnessed and what you've dealt with before. So, what are your options there?
The options were Fae, Fiends, Elemental, Celestials, and Undead.
You'll get Undead. You'll get Fiends. You will not get Celestials. So I'd say Fiends. Faes possibly because Faes. Yeah, so Faes, Fiends, and Undead.
Okay, I'll choose Undead then, just in case they try and slip anyone in.
Okay.
So if any creature of Undead Oranges steps inside the temple, they'll take 5d10 of damage.
Okay. How long does it last for?
That lasts for a day. That's like.
So you're just gonna cast it. You're gonna cast it every day then.
I'm gonna cast it. Yeah.
And does it encompass the entire complex, or is it just a smaller area?
It's 40,000 square feet. So it's the entire area that's being protected.
Yeah.
It affects.
Okay. Yep. That's fine.
Perfect.
Bill Baines, you need to remind me about that because I potentially will forget.
Yeah. I didn't even realise it did that part of it until I read it again when I was checking how it protected. And then receiving Gadden's message. I'll just respond like on our way.
Okay, so you've done that, and then you start making your way back towards where Gadden is. Okay, Lance and Arno and Nyasil, what are you chaps doing?
Well, I think we need to find the cleric and start identifying the people we need to convince.
Okay.
So we can gather them together.
Right. That's Well, I'm just checking days and stuff. Okay, so roll me what do we do? So you're going around trying to find him. Just roll me some investigation rolls on the sort of.
We'll obviously ask people if they've seen him.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. You get told where he is currently, and he's sort of down at the sort of the south of the complex, dealing with the subsidence where the refugee camp is. You can probably find him down there.
Away we go.
Okay, so you take yourselves off down to the south of the complex. As you do, you see a pretty wretched scene. You see a lot of dead bodies. You see what was a quite haphazard-looking refugee camp is now completely destroyed. There's Vandross is basically there, getting some of the monks and stuff to administer aid to the injured. He's
Too many people there to be injured. They should have all been down below, shouldn't they?
well, I
Because
guess
they were all being.
I don't think it was everybody though. But just
Sounds
out of
like it,
just
no,
out of there's some dead people. Just I'm not going to sort of. I don't think everybody would have is down there, but. Either way, people died down there anyway. We're sort of what's the word? When you not extrapolate, when you are no, the word's gone. But yeah, so for every I think down there you there was like 5 people dead. That extrapolates to more than 5 people dead. It's like instead of having thousands of people down there, each one counts as things. So there are people dead and. That is part of it. There's people obviously. Okay, we'll say they have sort of started realizing that there's lost people from this camp are gone. They're looking down at this cavernous sort of below them, and they are seeing the smoke coming up, and they're all panicking. And he's sort of trying to deal with some of the fights that have occurred because of it and things like that. We'll do it that way then.
Okay, so if we walk in, I will call him out and I'll call out to him and say, "Brother, we need to talk. This is complicated in some ways, but very simple. But I need you to understand what has happened here, and we need to agree how to move things forward."
I don't think I've got time. It's so busy around here. Where's the High Paladin when I need him?
He will not be able to help anymore.
What do you mean he won't need to help? Where's he gone?
We should perhaps talk in private.
Yeah, exactly. So come with me for a second. I know you are very busy, but this is urgent.
He
Take him by the arm and tow him along.
Okay, I'll not fight it. So he looks back at everything, and some of the other monks go on and start dealing with things in the air, and he comes with you. He says, "Okay, I haven't got a lot of time. Things are going really badly around here, and it seems like I'm the only person who people are looking to at this moment in time."
There is a reason for that. To put it simply, a false Hydra managed to seed itself in the catacombs underneath the castle. They consume and enthrall people. And the people they consume, they make you forget. Unfortunately, one of the people that you forgot and who was consumed by the Hydra was the High Paladin, along with a number of others. So you may find that there are people who should be up here that are not. That is because they were down below. My friends and I managed to stop it. It was messy, which is where the subsidence and the fire has come from, because it was quite a substantial infestation. Unfortunately, we're in a dire position because we still have the impending attack, and obviously things are less than optimal at this moment in time. I understand that you are not a combat commander. You are, unfortunately, currently, as far as the personnel here are concerned, the most senior surviving officer. You have other things that you need to be doing, as you've demonstrated here already. I obviously have certain experience myself, and we would like to suggest that if you're willing to back me, that I take charge of the combat portion of the personnel, and we try to get the defences back in place in order to reduce the number of civilian casualties that are going to come in the following days.
Okay. Arno, you want to say anything to sort of so you can add your persuasion to it?
Arno will listen to Lance, and he's kind of a bit wide-eyed because he didn't quite expect Lance to share as much information as Arno was going to opt to just deceive them for the quickest, cleanest progression. So he stands mostly silently, and then he says to the brother, I was the one that found him. It was too late even for our cleric to save him. As I looked into his eyes with his dying breath and action, he gave me his signet ring and pointed a finger. I believe this is what he would have wanted. He knew in this moment that we had come to save the sanctuary. He knew that we had vanquished the Hydra, and there is more that we have done to save this place, which we will tell you in due course. I think the High Paladin was backing my friend Lance here, and we would like you to do the same and help us to assemble the generals to follow his commands.
Okay, roll me deception, I guess.
Come on. 25.
Okay, yeah, he's very willing to accept that. He's not, like he isn't a commander. He's over his head. He's everything is beyond him at this moment in time. He can't deal with a siege, and he just wants to sort of help the injured and do what he used to do. Unfortunately, due to whatever ecclesiastical shenanigans that have gone on in the past, he's been given a position he wasn't really ready for. So yes. Well, if that's the will,
You help us assemble the leading generals that remain.
Yes, indeed. I will bear with me one night. He sort of goes out to the sort of you're down a little alleyway, and he sort of calls out. He says, Brother Ignatius. Yes, sir. Go and get the section commanders quickly. Go about it now. Bring some of the other brothers with you. And they sort of kind of go off and try and round up the sort of kind of the section commanders for the area around the temple complex. He says, so I'm just going to leave this in your capable hands. I know you're an honorable man. You'll do us you'll do us good, I'm sure. I must see to the injured and try and calm the situation down. Personally, I think we should probably leave. We have a.
We can't. We will. If we leave now, with the number of people we have, we won't be able to get out of the area before the attacking forces get here. And instead of being able to hide behind walls and conduct defense, they will harry us and whittle us away until there is nothing left. Unfortunately, a running fight is not something we're equipped for or prepared for. We have too many civilians.
What about the
What we need to
injured?
do-
You must let me leave with the injured at least.
We need to identify what resources we have to see if that will be possible. You need to understand that if we let you go and it turns out that was a bad decision, you could be taking them to a certain death instead of a possible death. We need to find out, one of my colleagues is scouting at the moment, how close the enemy are. Because you may be running into the arms of a bloodthirsty enemy rather than running to safety. Does that make sense to you?
He sort of swallows and he just nods his head. So whatever you think's best. I guess I will.
I know.
Sorry, carry on.
Arno says, is there a most fortified place within the sanctuary, somewhere underground that has not fallen to collapse, where perhaps you could assemble until we know more?
He and I guess you sort of if like he's going to say the catacombs where where you guys have been and stuff because he doesn't know about it, and then
And Arno just says, no, not there.
he says the most fortified area will be the temple complex in the north. It is possibly the most fortified area within this temple complex. It has many curtain walls and tower defenses. Unfortunately, though, I am no soldier. I am a healer.
That's fine. I would suggest that once we have assembled the commanders and organized the command, that you will focus on healing who you can and moving those who cannot be healed currently or in a timely manner to that position to make it secure.
Okay.
I will get in touch with my colleague Gadon. He will help you. He's currently at the northwest wall or the northeast wall trying to help there. He can also help to assemble the wounded and help you with healing and preparations. He is a gifted healer and he is also
Technically, he
has
should
some
know.
martial experience.
Sorry. Technically, he should know who Gadon is.
Yeah.
We did spend 2 days together.
Yeah, you'll know.
Yeah,
you'll
he'll
I'm
know.
assuming he's in shock at the moment, so I'm spelling stuff out.
No. I mean,
keep
I'm
moving.
talking to Matt. Like,
Yeah,
7 foot
Decent
line man. No.
yeah.
Never seen him, never heard of him.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is. Who?
Traumatic amnesia.
Who was that guy?
Who's Gadon?
Ian, did you
Who's
say?
that?
No,
There's another Hydra! There's another Hydra!
Who? Oh my god. It's the gun again. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. I'll fast forward a bit as well so you can kind of do your bit with the soldier, with the commanders. So they sort of come in one by one and the brother Van Dross sort of introduces you to them all, and they all sort of kind of take some seats in a one of the sort of buildings in the area that hasn't been destroyed, and they wait for them all to come, and they all sort of kind of come in one by one, some looking more sheepish than others, some looking quite sort of sure of themselves. One of them sort of with quite grand looking armor and stuff comes in and says, "So, what is it you have summoned us here for? We have the defenses to look to."
I step forward and show him the signet of the High Paladin and say, "The infestation of the Fourth Hydra cost the High Paladin his life. It has also caused innumerable issues, both in terms of missing personnel and damage caused by myself and my colleagues in defeating it. As an extension of our interaction with the paladin before he passed, I intend to take control of the defences.
You
to avoid
do
squabbling.
you? You.
Arno quickly Arno quickly quickly
I thought that was my trick.
kicks Brother Vandross in the shin to signify you need to step up and speak now to back him.
Vandross goes, yes, of course. Yes, my lords, generals, captains, it is true that the High Paladin has given what's your rank? And he sort of kind of looks at Lance and says, "What's your rank?" And
I just look at him and say, right now, my rank comes broadly under the heading of I'm a lot taller than you, I'm a lot older than you, I'm a lot more experienced than you with our
really going to ingratiate yourselves with the local.
Does Arno what does Arno know about military rank?
Yeah, you'll knight captain or something like that would be sort of pretty high up there and stuff. So
all right, Arno just says knight captain.
You say you carrying on as you are, Lance? Or you going to give him a?
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the moment, if we stand here and compare dick sizes, everyone is going to die. I think you can see that coming, even if your pride is going to get in the way of it. It's very simple here. We need to get ourselves together. We need to fix the defences as best we can and prepare. One of my colleagues is out scouting to see where the enemy are and how close they are. Others of my colleagues are trying to fortify our defences and help with the wounded in the northeast quarter. At this point in time, I am asking you to put your pride aside and work with us to try and keep as many of the survivors of the recent crisis alive as possible.
You needn't chastise them, Knight Captain Lance. I'm sure these men are in their position due to the sense that they had and the loyalty that they had to the High Paladin. Why else would they be here? Am I wrong? And he looks out to the room, making sure that they heard what he called Lance.
The one who's been outspoken says, "Well, I don't know who you are. I've was selected personally by the High Paladin, and I, as the ranking member of this complex, should be in charge of its defenses. You strangers with your flashy titles and your whatever have come in here and barking orders at us. All I'm seeing is all you've brought is death and destruction. I suggest to you all, my fellow generals, captains, soldiers, that you put me in charge instead of this vagrant over here."
Arno stands and he says, "We are against the clock. We will soon be overrun. Knight Captain Lance is the only one here who has the battle experience and the knowledge to allow us to even have a chance of surviving. We have no interest in leadership here after what it is that comes. For that, you can squabble amongst yourselves to elect somebody new. But for now, this is something that needs to happen. And I suggest that you go along with it." And he casts suggestion on this outspoken dude.
Okay.
So he needs to roll a wisdom save, please.
Yeah, he feels okay.
He fails. So with that suggestion, he has to for the next 8 hours, he has to fully, basically, support Lance's claim, and Arno's made it sound like he's agreed to Arno's justification, I guess.
Yeah, he just sort of says, yes, it makes a lot of sense, actually. I don't know how I've been so stupid. I retract my, my comments. How silly of me. And he says, yes, one of his fellow generals just sort of kind of looks at him, oddly, like, what the fuck is this guy doing? But nobody else says anything. And he says, and then Brother Vandross just kind of says, yeah, so, Lance, I mean, Knight Captain Lance is going to take control of the defense of the defense of the complex. So make sure you do what he says as if it was mine and the High Paladin's command. Okay, he has seniority here. Okay, I don't want any trouble. And he tries to act like he's got some sort of control and authority, but he's, you know, the way he's speaking, and then he doesn't have very much. So he just says his piece and then says, right, and he takes himself off outside and starts seeing to the wounded and stuff again. The rest of the generals then sort of kind of stand up and bow, and then one says, so, what are your orders, sir?
We need to take stock of the personnel that are remaining. Do not assume anyone is alive until they have been personally viewed by someone else. Once we know which personnel we have, we will then need to assess the current state of the defences and try and see if we can shore up the damaged areas, especially in the northeast corner, and to assess the southeast moat to make sure that the integrity is there. I have cleared with the clerics to move the wounded into the temple itself and into the lower levels so that they can be safe, and they will try and get any who can be brought back to fitness ready to assist with the defences. One of my colleagues is out assessing and scouting at the moment, so maintain a watch at the appropriate hours just in case, and we will reconvene in I look at the sky. If we reconvene at sunset in the temple complex's main throne room, then we will look at where we stand and the actions we want to take to make the use of what time we have remaining to us. Can I also suggest that someone talk to the quartermasters to see if we have where we stand with supplies in case of spoilage or things being consumed in fires.
Okay.
While Lance is saying all this, Arno sort of steps behind him out of view, and he uses a bonus action to change his glamored studded leather to look identical to Lance's armor and make him look more paladin-y. And then he steps out from behind Lance, and now looks like he's just gleaming in, you know, this armor proper with the cloak and everything. And he says, "We have also made some headway with our somewhat unwelcome guests. We shall go and speak with the Dragonborn and firm this alliance further for now." And he stands proudly. I don't know if Lance has looked at Arno yet.
The generals and stuff are just sort of kind of looking. They sort of looking down on you and then looking at each other with, you know, unsurety, and they all sort of kind of look at Lance with this sort of kind of view of, is he able to give us orders, sort of thing? So they look at you.
Yeah. I should point out at this point in time, I'm holding Daybreaker and I'm testing the edge with my thumb while I look at them contemplatively.
Okay. They just sort of they look slightly bemused, and you get a little giggle now and again, and one of the younger NCOs has a bit of a giggle, and suddenly this halfling appears with his really grand armor on, and looking
Is someone
quite
aware of the context? I glare at him.
He's laughing
at me.
the smirk suddenly just drops. He gets a kick from one of the others, and he sort of bows and takes himself off. As
he leaves, Arno sort of flicks his finger and mutters something under his breath, and the guard wets himself.
It's like, Jones, you fucking fool! It's like, you've gone and pissed yourself, mate. And then it's like,
now it's Arno's turn to giggle.
And he just
I turn to the senior general and say, I would think that you need to look to the caliber of the people that you promote. If all it takes is a strong look for one of your people to wet themselves, maybe.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Sergeant, see to him that make sure and he says, we will go, sir. And he sort of bows his head, and they all sort of kind of take themselves off into the different areas to sort of do your bidding, to sort of stock take effectively, see about damage, and check on current manpower.
When they leave, I turn, I look down at Arno, and I just say, well, that would explain the giggling then, wouldn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about, my friend. And he just smirks.
Okay.
I shake my head and say, I would scold you, but let's be honest, I'd be better off just pissing on the floor. It would have just as much effect, wouldn't it? And I can't piss.
You know me too well.
Okay,
fun.
we'll do Saravel's sort of bits around the. We'll get his out of the way because we can just do his in one chunk and then forget about him until day 4. So if we. Okay. So he's off to Pilgrim's Rest first. So he takes himself there. Roll me. I can't remember what we made you roll. There's just him on his own. So roll me. For every half a day he takes, I'll let you roll a dice. So you can roll me a dice on persuasion, I guess. To try and get people to leave, and then maybe to try. So roll me a persuasion to leave and a persuasion to provide some men to sort of support the defense of the area,
Right.
and then one for supplies as well. Sorry, so 3 dice.
I had a speech and all.
You can do a speech, yeah, if you want to do a speech.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so he goes in and I think basically what the plan was to go in and find somebody of sort of importance to allow him an audience with the townsfolk, or somebody to basically listen. Upon sort of getting that, he sort of introduces himself and he says, he waits for it to quieten down. People of this town, hear me now, not as a stranger, but one who bears dire truth, carried on swift feet from the shadowed woods. I'm Saravel Eldan, son of what's my dad's name? Athlon and Hadril. I bring no sword against you, only words, and the weight of a warning too heavy to bear alone. Beyond the veil of Pilgrim's Rest, something stirs old and cruel. The winds carry scents not born of this age. Trees rot there, where they should bloom. Beasts flee their dens, and even the stars seem to shrink from horizon. Last few nights ago, well, how long would it have been? Well, not long ago, my brother and I saw villages blackened to ash. No fire, no struggle, only silence and ruin. This is no mere band of raiders, no blight of man or beast. It is a darkness thought long buried, ancient, cunning, and hungering for dominion. Already it spreads its tendrils through the wild places, and soon it will reach your walls, your hearts, your children's dreams. I do not come to frighten you, nor do I ask for charity. I come to call you to stand. We must not meet this threat as scattered leaves from the storm. The forest will fight, the rangers are ready, but we cannot hold it alone. We need steel, we need courage, we need allies who will not let the dark consume all that walks in the light. I ask you now, not as a stranger, but as a fellow being of good, will you lend warriors to stand beside us? Will your fires burn not just for comfort, for defiance? The storm is coming, my friends. Let us face it, not as strangers, but as kin of this realm, united beneath one sky. The time for silence is past. The time for standing is now.
Yeah, roll me a persuasion. You can have advantage with that.
Well done.
Very nice.
That one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, okay. So I'll give you the I'll give you all three for that because it was a hefty speech. So yeah, they're you get a lot of encouraged people. You get a lot of the local sort of men and even some of the sort of women as well coming up volunteering to join you and go to the sanctuary for its defense. They'll provide you with supplies as well. So yeah, we'll tick that off, and we will go men and supplies, and I will do a little plus there. Happy about it. Okay. Actually, no. Do the be confusing. Okay, so we'll say I guess he's gonna go and do the same speech. You must say it again. Okay, no, the same speech across the areas. Birth 1 minute. So
If I had time, I probably could to like sort of tweak it a bit, or
Why not just use the same one? You might as well.
Yeah,
It works so well.
But what if somebody from the, like Pilgrim's Rest hears it and be like, "Hey, he said that to us."
Wait a minute. Okay, so you're going to go up
Caravel
there.
on tour.
Yeah. So you go up. Same things. You can roll me again persuasion with advantage up there as well. Yep. Same again. So they're all pretty stoked, happy. Definitely the antithesis of the west of the west of the settlements. The east sort of encouraged. The west somewhat threatened. I
mean, it worked.
Okay. And then he'll make his way up to the Rithba Keep. This is sort of like a Helm's Deep sort of place. As he sort of kind of makes his way to the gates, it's pretty formidable, not huge, but you can see it could be well defended. He goes in the gates. He says his speech. Oh God, I've forgotten the name. The Morning Star, the
Bastion.
no, what are they called? What are they?
High Paladin?
What's the bloody faction called?
Something of the Morning Star. The
Order of the Morning
Yes,
Star.
the Order of the
Oh,
Morning
yeah.
Star. Yeah, so the local commander, the sort of guard captain of the in that sort of keep, he says, Ranger, we are steeled by a wonderful speech, but we can provide you with some supplies to help the sanctuary, but we must defend this place. Should the enemy make its way here and break through, they will get through the caverns, the Ristva, the Ristva gorge, or caverns to get through. And that will actually I did actually name it Birth One. Is it in this one? Oosh. Yeah, and then so the Ristva pass, but it will take them into the main past the main wall, two sets of walls of the Rel Talor defenses. Should we fall, then our elven comrades will potentially fall with us. We need to defend this area. If the sanctuary goes, then we will be the last line before they take this place. If what you say is true, then we cannot spare any men, because we will need them here.
Saravel, he nods in agreement and says, my lord, I understand. Your keep here is powerful and strong. But if we do not unite together, if we are not a spear piercing the armor of evil, this and the sanctuary falls, this will matter not. The armies of darkness will move forward. We must stand together and break the shield that they are about to clash upon us. I think that's all I've got. Not really.
You can roll me persuasion, but you're having disadvantage as much as he's not sort of overly keen on leaving this keep.
If he mentions that they have got the aid of the other surrounding towns to head to the Sanctuary of Devotion. The forces are mustering.
I'll tell you what he's thinking then, and then you can sort of decide. He basically says to you that as much as it makes sense to hold the sanctuary, they can still skirt around it and attack this place, and potentially get in behind. It's likely, in his view, that they will try and siege the Rel Talor fortifications, as it is a major count, and they don't want that on their back. So that'll need to go. If they can get round the back of it and take it from behind, then yeah, mucky cow. So yeah, they can get round the back, then it is potentially a threat. If it falls, if Rel Talor falls, then that opens up another way round, and potentially a free reign to get to the portal of Aberath. It would only be the Order of the Waning Moon to sort of deal with them, and they don't have any sort of major fortifications in that area.
Okay. I understand and appreciate your knowledge of battle and defenses. I wholeheartedly agree. However, if we break their lines, we can get in behind them, and we can break their beachhead and cut off reinforcements, the walls for Rel Thalor and their areas around are tall and strong. They will hold.
Is that, have you rolled a
No, not for this one yet. No, I mean, again, I'm happy enough to roll persuasion with a disadvantage.
roll a persuasion. He's not sort of.
I mean, he makes it. It makes sense. Like, you know, it is.
He's very sort of. It's one of these ones where he's not going to, even with. It's going to be a have to quite high one. He's not, like, in his mind. He's not. He understands your position, but he can't give you anything.
Thurvel, he bows and says, I hope it doesn't come to you having to defend this keep. But if we manage to hold the sanctuary and you're in need of aid, I will be sure that you get it.
He bows and thanks you. He gives you sort of some supplies, you know, for your trip back, and enough sort of, you know, he offers you a bed for the night and some mead.
In which I'm grateful for the hospitality, my lord. But I must be making my way back. For peace and honor, but again he bows and says, "For peace and honor," and leaves.
Okay, cool. All right, so Saravel's on his way back. So he's on day 4. Day 12. Sorry. Let me just record that. Okay. Okay. Tharaval, as you're sort of kind of down, Mythwind. You sort of you ride down towards Mythwind. It takes you a day to get there. You sort of see, as you're sort of getting closer to it, there is sort of dark clouds and what looks like a storm sort of brewing in the south. The people of Mythwind know something's up, but they're not sure what. They seem a bit disordered. There's people sort of arguing in the streets. Some people are sort of leaving. There's a little bit of looting and stuff. You see sort of a bit of fighting and stuff. It's a bit of a disarray.
Okay. I didn't think I was going to have to do any talking with him. So he comes in. He sort of comes into Mythwind, and he can see that, you know, that everything that's going on, it's a bit sort of, you know, basically shit's hitting the fan sort of thing. He tries to gather the attention of the townsfolk, to tell them what is on their doorstep. And again, he's going to basically sort of try and tell them to either retreat to the bastion, or sorry, was it the sanctuary?
There's a bastion to Double Arc, which is sort of the southwest.
Yeah, sorry. Retreat to the sanctuary. I mean, it is a sanctuary after all. Yeah.
Okay. Roll me a persuasion then.
His persuasion is not as good. It's not bad, but not as good.
18. Roll me. So that is for them to leave. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I think they'll sort of start going. Roll me another one for sort of men and another one for supplies.
Okay.
They'll give you a few men, yep, and one for supplies. They're not going to give you that many supplies as they need them. So, I'll give you men. See, that's fine. But you get men from. Okay. All right. Where do you want to go from that place? So you sort of they start packing up. Some of the men start making their way north towards the sanctuary. With some of the refugees and stuff, they start going up north as well.
He'll head south towards Waterside, I think.
Okay, so as you start making your way down the road towards Waterside, you roll me. Actually, birth 1 minute. So this is going to be around days here. So that is it was 1 day to there. It's half a day. So you're on day. You're on day 10, so we'll say day 11, and then okay, you roll me a perception check.
Perception.
Okay, you as you're sort of kind of riding along, you sort of hear the noises of hooves of men marching. You hear sort of chants and horns and stuff. You know something's coming up this road in your direction.
Okay. So he moves into the forest, into the shadows, sort of quite deep into the sort of shadow. Actually, he'll use his cloak to sort of shadow stalk or whatever it is.
Yep.
While he does that, he's going to. Is there any wildlife about? Would it be like a ravens or anything?
Yeah, there'll be some wildlife of some sort. Yeah.
So he's going to cast. Let's see. He's going to cast Speak with Animals.
Yeah.
Basically, he's gonna ask. He's gonna cast Speak with Animals on a raven. He's basically gonna say, "My feathered friend, I mean you no harm, but I request your help. I need your eyes to see what dangers are approaching. In return, I can offer you some sanctuary and food. But at the very least, I suggest I say that your friends and your family must leave this place and head north. There is danger afoot."
Roll me persuasion.
Just realized I did that with the wrong one.
Yep. Okay. He's the crow sort of calls its agreement. It sort of takes off, and it sorry, before it does, it asks whereabouts you want it to sort of look what you see.
So what he was actually going to do, he's then going to cast Beast Sense. So he'll approach the bird, and he reach out and he touch it, and he casts Beast Sense. So he basically sort of wargs into the raven.
Okay.
And his eyes roll into the back of his head, and he can then sort of, see and do as the raven can do. So he flies off above the trees, high above, over the road toward where the marching was coming from.
So you as you sort of kind of flying south, as you're up high, you see sort of emerging from the trees, and you see this to the south, just where effectively where Waterside is, making their way north. You see some coming towards one of the sort of watchtowers. Let's see over. So here and sort of here, you see crowds of where are we? So you see sort of forces coming out. Now you're quite high up. You're with your sight, I guess you're not going to be able to decipher what type of troops they are. You see men and you see horses. You can see. There are a few sort of in the distance what you think are potentially flying forces as well. You're not 100% sure, but they sort of coming in that direction there. You can go down further to sort of have a better look if you want to sort of try and gauge what's going, what's coming, or you can move on.
Yeah, it'll go in closer.
Okay. So you make your way closer. Do you want? I guess you don't need stealth. You're a fucking bird. But I'm going to roll a dice. I am going to roll.
Not like he's a chicken or anything.
Oh, that was some horrendous rolling by the army. None of them, nobody's bothered. Nobody's bothered.
Oh, look,
It's a fucking bird, like, so they're gonna be.
Yeah. Okay. So, so you see a mishmash of what looks like what looks like men, elves. You see different types of cavalry. The winged creatures are bats. You see
Rebane from Dunland.
yes, Dunland. You see as well. Actually, roll me a perception check.
Still rolling. Just keep on forgetting. Still rolling a Cerebell, but doesn't matter. Why did that not roll?
Perception 20. Okay, so you see you also see in the distance what seems to be certain creatures sort of ringed in flame, sort of demonic creatures that are sort of making their way north as well. You where's the token?
I didn't touch it, I promise.
Yeah, I'm just fire some here. Okay, so yeah, you as numbers go, there are well, how long do you want to stick around in that area for?
Basically, he's seen, what is sort of there, as in the composition of some of the armies. basically just trying to gauge a rough number. However long that would take.
Okay, roll me an investigation, and then I'll.
My investigation. It's actually it's not great. But...
17. You can't be 100% sure. There are. Let's check. There are within those groups. You from the 3 groups. The 5 groups that you can see currently. There's probably, could be anywhere between 500 and 1,000 men per sort of per token. The bats and stuff, they're sort of further in the distance, so you're not really sure how many there are, but you're sort of gauging there's probably about anywhere between 500 and 1,000 per stack.
Okay. Yeah, so he's happy enough with that. He will then turn about with the Raven and fly back to his body.
So you're not going further to the east then? Are you just?
That's well, I mean, how long does this take? How long does it take?
So I reckon you could. I would, so we can speed things up. Doing that, seeing what's there, coming back to your body, and getting out of dodge. I'll take you back. It'll take you to day 12.
Okay, well, we'll do that then. Sure.
Yep. Okay, so the bird sort of kind of flies, but the raven sort of flies off towards the bastion of the Morning Star. You see in the bastion these long sort of heads sort of poking out of the central complex. And you see within it that there seems to be forces besieging the bastion itself. There are, again, similar-ish sort of forces around it, but they have sort of siege engines, and they seem to be firing at it. Don't seem to be sort of succumbing to the False Hydra's sort of whims outside of its influence, but they are currently dealing with that sort of threat there.
When you say siege engines, as in, is it our own forces that are attacking, or is it?
No, it's okay. Enemy forces, because the Hydras are, the False Hydra has, it doesn't care basically. It just wants, it has no side. It just, and I'll put some tokens down. There was the catapult one here flying around. I put it. You do see within it. Roll me a perception check. 31. Yep. Okay. You see, within sort of the tree line, you see some large looking automatons, similar to the corrupted versions of the sort of shield guardians. Sort of standing there. You also notice you see some archers, and you also see in the distance, sort of in the distance, you see a dragon coming from the southeast. It's sort of making its way towards the bastion of the Morning Star.
What colour's the dragon?
The dragon. Roll me a, because it's in the distance. You won't be able to see it very well, I don't think.
Okay,
But
that's fine.
yeah, you can stick around for a bit longer if you want to, I guess, and wait for it to get closer.
Yeah, I may as well.
Okay. Roll me a perception again then. Okay. It is a. It is a. Are we going to make it? Are we going to make it?
Is it putting you on the spot? Whereas if it gives you time to think about it, it's not a good. It's probably worse off. I don't know.
Well,
We'll see.
I think it's going to be.
A red dragon.
It's going to
What's in
be
the
a
box?
black dragon.
I thought I was going to say it's either going to be red or black.
Like Salt Snow.
Yeah, it's going to be a black dragon. So it's a black dragon.
Birdie.
I don't see colour, I only see dragon.
It's always the Goths.
I think there's black tokens here, so I can probably give you a black dragon token. If I can find one. Oh, there you go. Boosh. So black dragon, and it's sort of making its way towards the bastion. You'll also sort of see in the distance, the very sort of distance, you'll notice that there are sort of forces that seem to be laying siege to the walls, the elven walls, over sort of.
By the tower.
Yeah, just in that sort of area over there. So you're not noticing what there is there, but there seems to be fireballs and all kinds of stuff hitting up against the walls and stuff in that area.
Okay. Yeah, so I think of that point, he's happy enough. He's spent enough time. He's obviously very sort of aware that some of these armies are still on the move. So he's going to pull back the raven.
Okay.
The raven sort of flies back to like a branch and perches on the branch next to him. He Tharaval sort of, his eyes, sort of come down from his head. He takes some bread out for the raven and he feeds it. And he sort of says to you're welcome to join me, my friend. But as I said, you must leave this place.
The raven is on his own. He has no family, and he's happy enough to stay with you. So he sort of perches himself on your shoulder, and
Yay! Get me a birdie.
Deadbeat raven.
I'm not gonna lie. It's like that was just an idea, and I was like, I'm gonna get attached to this fucking bird.
call me Odin. So yeah, you've got a little raven friend. You can name him as you wish.
I don't know if I want to, because then he'll get killed and I'll get upset.
Okay, so we will go back
That's
to
if they
the
do that to you.
we go back to the rest is okay. So, let us put right. So, okay. So, Garden, Barte, Saren. What do you got?
Party.
What are y'all doing?
Barty's going to create a load of bread and apples, I think, and like baskets, arrange them out. So he's like spending a spell.
Okay.
And he's just going to offer to any sort of able-bodied survivors to like eat their fill, but they need to help fill in this wall.
Okay. Brother
I'm
Gavin?
going to
Try and
stand guard
boost morale.
watching just in case somebody does try to take more than their share without actually doing their share.
Roll intimidation.
Wow. So you're not
It's
actually going to
hard to
help with the
mind
war.
trick.
You're just going to watch them.
Seriously, rolling intimidation again.
Carrot over stick.
Fucking hell. This is going to be like horrible. I'm gonna have such a horrible name for myself.
Your legend is not
Too
going to
late.
be. Yeah. So you just sort of
Ooh.
stand there, and people sort of look at you, and you know,
I just, like-
one little boy goes over to get a bit too much, and you just sort of kind of growl at him, and he's like, and he sort of puts it down and runs off.
Oh god,
Mummy, why isn't she helping with the war?
I'm gonna be the thing that the parents tell their kids not like to behave, or Saren Sanguine will come and get you.
Because you're the boogeyman.
Boogeyman.
I am.
You're
Please,
Baba Yaga.
I bloody am.
You're Baba Yaga.
Everyone needs a hobby.
Yes, the legend of Baba Yaga. It's just Saren Sanguini.
Yeah. Have you got a pencil?
And,
You got a pencil to hand? Sorry, Barty, carry on.
I was going to say, Barty will use telekinesis to shift a ton of stone and like broken masonry.
Okay.
So I'm back in position.
In
Ga-
fairness, I can't really do much because my strength is fucking shite.
Gadden, what are you up to?
So, what's the state of everybody else so far? We've managed to get rid of every.
Yeah, so I'll say that
Injured
you're happy enough to sort of people will start helping towards sort of dealing with the wall. It's basically between you. How long are you going to stay there to sort of kind of fix it, basically?
Well, just we'll stay there until it get actually. It's since we don't need to be there for too long, as long as there's a flow going and they're committed to fixing the walls, it's at least repairable. It's at least a standard. Then I'd like, he'll turn to Barty and he'll say, "Look, I think as long as Lance has done his job, we've done our job here to make sure that nobody else is sick, and all the injured and wounded and maimed are in the infirmary, which means, like, Barty, we have a little bit of another problem to figure out, which is what the fuck happened with those glyphs? I mean, are they still around? And, you know, we've killed all the witches, but
Yeah.
we're technically compromised from the inside, and I personally like my magic. I felt impotent fighting without it, so is there a way we can utilize it so that we can use the magic within but repel anything going out? I have no idea about any of this.
Barty, you can roll me a Arcana, I guess, so you understanding this whole concept of these. You're pretty confident that because your runes have sort of superseded the old ones, that your magic will be fine. And here, you're also pretty confident that, at least for the time being, no magic will be able to come in. So any sort of assault will be a physical one and not a magic.
Yes. Yes, so the witches had a corresponding runes just like us, and they are all dead. So someone would have to come in and add their runes to break it again, and I've stopped anyone from doing that.
And we don't have a. I'm tempted to see if I. And then he just looks around to see if he can rummage around for a circle of truth, or in his spell, well, in his repertoire, realizing that he doesn't actually know that spell, even though he's heard of it once upon a time.
There is a library. Are you capable of learning spells, or are you just giving them?
I'm
Oh God! You just wake up with
I'm
the arcane knowledge.
I'm blessed, unfortunately, by Bahamut, so whatever he teaches me is whatever I get. I'm not as learned as you as to be able to learn a spell so quickly, but unfortunately, like, you know, I'm just not good at spells. I get given what I have and I use it. I'm a bit of a battering ram in that sense. In that case, then we don't have anything else to bolster our magical abilities, aside from what you just did with Forbiddens. So I don't think there's anything else I can do here. Like, short of just like, I've already done 2 days with like as many of the medics here as possible without any magic and taught them what I know. But the real test here is going to be where we can find any other mages in the short space of time when we've recruited them, and also what we can do to prepare ourselves in the fortifications. It doesn't seem like there's anything else. I can patch up the wounded, but that will take time.
You'll sort of notice as time goes on that you'll start seeing people coming in through the gates, having been sent, over the last few days, and the refugees, some new soldiers, and things coming in through the gates. You see sort of wagons of supplies as well coming in as well. Shall we? Because if people are going to be off, I don't want to drag this sort of part on again any further. So what we'll do is, we'll do the Dragonborn part, the persuasion of the Dragonborn, or sort of see what they do that, and then you can either choose to, let's say, the walls being fixed in the sort of in the interim. And then you can decide if you want to sort of kind of do some training over the next sort of 3 days with some people to sort of get some of the them up to scratch. So you can all be there, bar obviously Tharaval and Saravel, to talk to the Dragonborn. So we will do that. I guess that's what you chaps are doing next.
I mean, we
That
don't
sounds
have
good.
anything else to do, so yeah.
Yep. Okay, so we'll do that. And with that, you sort of make your way back to the temple complex, and Draxus comes out. He is got his axe, and he's called. He's seen you return, and he's seen that you've got sort of command of the area, and he sort of calls upon the Dragonborn to assemble within the square of the complex. Do you want to ring fence any of it with ring fence with any other people, or are you happy enough him just sort of try and talk to them, or use to talk to
Don't
them?
want the ring fence, but we'll have some troops nearby, but out of sight, so there won't be like a visible cordon, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, we will. Okay.
Oh.
So stick these guys just sort of there. Down over there. Tharaval, you're not around. Okay. Okay. So, not Galdrax, that's one of the other Dragonborns who is now dead. The sort of Dragonborn, sort of file into the to the central square. People going about their business, sort of are milling about still, but sort of keeping their distance in the the shade of the surrounding buildings as this is happening. You have sort of some soldiers on the walls to the south manning the ballistas, and obviously you have men in the different sort of fortified positions in the left and to the right, to the west and to the east. Draxus sort of makes his way down the steps, and in front of him are a few of his sort of officers and the rest of the Dragonborn he brought them, and he starts to speak to them. He says, "Brothers, as you can see, I am of a different shade. Do not let this discourage you. I am still your leader. I am still in charge. But I have seen light in the darkness. I have seen the lies that have been fed to us. I have seen that you all have been deceived by she who has enthralled me. With that, there's a bit of a sort of murmur and a gasp from some of them. You have all been lied to, and I, for my part, have been party to that, and I am sorry. It is not me. It is but her and her lieutenants who have created this situation. You have followed me once. You have followed me through many vile things, and I ask you to cast them aside. I ask you to join me and to defend this citadel. I ask you to give away and throw down your love for that witch, for she will only bring you death. I am Draxus Goldmane, heir to the Ember Throne, ancestor to the first Dragonborn that have been in this land, and I would have your fealty. The one of the commanders sort of steps forth and sort of hisses at him and says, "You, Goldmane, what has happened to you? Where is Kiamat Redscale? He is dead, and I stand in his place. And you should join us. All of you should join us. This place will be your tomb otherwise." There's a lot of murmuring and sort of talking amongst the ranks, and Goldmane sort of kind of walks down towards where the officers are, and he looks at them and he says, "We have done many horrible things, but we were not always that way, brothers. We, Dragonborn, are noble creatures. Yes, we have had our homes taken from us, and maybe that is why this anger led us to this dark place. But I am here to lead us into the light. By Bahamut," and as he says the name, there's a massive gasp, and one of them turns around and says, "Your blasphemous tongue! Well, I will cut it out!" And he sort of charges towards Draxus, who just steps to the side and sort of cleaves the guy's head off.
Okay, maybe I like him a bit more.
Yeah, and sort of just cleaves the guy's head off, and he looks at the others, says, "I do not want to lead you by fear. I am not who she is. I am not who her lieutenants would have me be. I have been in the mist of darkness for too long now, and I intend to redeem myself. I intend to redeem you all. Swear your allegiance to me once more, or I'm afraid you will end up like this poor sod here." I'm going to roll. Does anybody else want to chip in with anything, by the way? Or before he sort of kind of rolls? It's going to be a persuasion roll.
I guess he'll just throw guidance in there, so he gets a 1d4. Gently whispers in the wind, guide this gold mane to glory.
Okay, so
So just give me guidance. You may be wondering, why now, of all times, to be casting the cantrip guidance? Because I only just discovered I had it.
I've got guidance as well. Yeah.
Limited discovery.
Why?
Think of how many people I could have saved with guidance.
Why is it?
To be fair, I think that's
Absolutely
the
not.
first time I've actually used beast sense.
That's
Right.
true.
I've definitely used speak with animals, but I think that's the first time I've actually used beast sense.
In a sense.
Oh, you people with your fancy spells.
So, with the D4, with a D4 on that, on 15, which isn't great. Okay, there's
Was he not threatening them though?
intimidations, because I roll charisma, it's the same thing, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
No, intimidation isn't charisma.
No, it's not. Intimidation is something else.
Intimidation is charisma, surely.
no, it's charisma.
No, intimidate.
Oh,
Oh, it
it
is.
is.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
charisma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
As,
yeah.
as I see them looking unsure, I step forward and I brandish Daybreaker. And I shout, God damn it! Are you all just weak-willed little lizards who will do as she says? Who won't think for yourself? Who know not what right or wrong is unless you're told?
Gonna give up the world, Warcraft.
World crap. Okay. Okay, where's 1 minute? Where's 1 minute?
Please bear with us. Your customer is important to us.
Oof. Okay. I was trying to get help with a Niacil intimidation, but he's not being very intimidating, unfortunately. Okay.
Watching a butterfly.
He
Okay.
sort of went, rawr.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. So I'm going to roll a D.
Could Barty not do something about that intimidation?
Oh, I forgot it was
Yeah.
there, to be honest with you. Fuck yeah. Cheers. Lost in my own world.
Sorry, just reaches over and like, Barty, hello? Barty.
It's just like doing sums in his head. Yeah, let's switch it to a 20.
Okay. So with that, Niacil sort of, Lance sort of steps forward and starts sort of berating them, and then Niacil sort of steps forward into his dragon form, sort of crooks his neck, and gleams in golden light. With that, D100. Uh, 70, 81, 81 of them. 81 of them, sort of, a big chunk of them basically get down to on one knee, and put their sort of kind of axes on the ground, and bow their heads. You see, 19 of them, or it's not even 19 of them, because I think you killed 10 of them.
9 of them.
We'll say 10 of
Yeah,
them.
so
We'll
9 of them.
we'll say sort of 9 of them, just sort of standing there. The two sort of, officers and sort of like some of the sort of NCOs will say that's just 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, and then we'll just say this group here. Okay, so the rest,
I'm gonna get fucked up.
the rest there, these say, because one of them's been killed, but they stand their ground and just sort of hiss at you. The officer turns to the ones kneeling and says, "You're cowards, all of you. She will come here, and you will pay for your blasphemous tongues."
I catch Tharavol's attention, and no, sorry, I know Tharavol's not there, is he?
No.
I was going to say, we didn't do well at that distance.
Fine.
Unless you got the sending stones and I've got one.
Yeah. I catch Seren's attention and nod towards him.
Time for more stabby.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is.
Are they all close together?
Well, yeah, they're sort of standing. They're kneeling, and they're basically saying. With that,
Okay.
So we'll say like
Okay.
they're going to do. We'll do this. Sort of makes it sort of their. What they're going to do is they like that. We'll say surrounding Draxus, and they basically go to attack him. So they sort of basically charge towards him. Start charging towards him.
Okay, so I'm going to manifest my echo before him, and I'm going to take a sweep at the first one as a surprise attack with Daybreaker.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's the first attack.
Yep. With advantage.
Second attack. Third attack. So I'm assuming they've all hit.
Yes. That is 26.
36, 39, 49, 59, 64, 74 damage for over three attacks.
74 damage. Yeah, I'll just.
And don't forget the radiant damage as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to sort of do a full combat thing. You can just sort of talk it out. But
Cool.
yeah, you just sort of the first one that sort of kind of goes towards it, you just sort of kind of cut him in twain, and he goes down. Draxus sort of moves to his left, and sort of cleaves two more down. So say he's gone and they're gone. Who else is doing something?
I'm going
Any
to
left?
run up to the one closest to us. He's looking at Draxus, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that would give me sneak attack because he's not looking at me.
Yep.
Sweet. I'm literally going to run up behind him and I'm going to drive my hidden blade right down the back of his neck.
Okay. You miss.
Oh, come
Oh,
on!
no way.
All right, for the sake of it, yes. Well, I'm not going to. You slide it into the back of his neck and sort of kind of cut him down as he's sort of charging forward. Okay.
I'm going to try to use that as well.
Okay. Anybody else? So Lance, you were there.
Niasil.
Yeah, sort of Niasil, he sort of rages forward and, basically messes up these two here in quick succession, leaving three left, Barty, Arno, and Brother Gadden.
Oh yeah, Barty will launch a lightning bolt or something straight across these two. Step over, just delete those two.
Okay. Boosh! Zap, 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 zap. There's one left who sort of...
Fireball! No, I'm joking.
There's one left, and he's sort of... I'd say you're all sort of kind of surrounding him. And the newly armored... Arno, he's sort of like
Yeah,
hissing at them and brandishing his
I
axe.
look over and I will just I'll whisper a discordant melody, and he has to do a whiz 20 save, please, as I cast Dissonant Whispers.
Dissonant whispers. What is it? A
Like
wisdom? Did you say wisdom save?
Yeah, whiz 20 save. Oh my god, that's the worst roll ever.
He feels.
So he takes only 16 damage from 7d6. And he has to use his reaction to move as far as his speed allows away.
Yeah, he goes away, and as he sort of runs towards Niasil, just grabs him by the head and then breaks his neck, he goes down. Okay.
Standard.
The Dragonborn who are sort of kind of down, they sort of look at Niasil, and they see him in his dragon form, and they start sort of chanting in Draconic.
Om Nom Shivaya.
Yeah,
Om Nom Shivaya.
And Draxus sort of stands back on the steps and sort of oversees his new
As Draxus
Retinue.
as Draxus passes by, Gadden casts the quiet spell and casts light on his scales so that he glows bright.
Nice.
Nice.
That's right.
Amazing. Yeah. So you see this like
Holy
this.
dragon.
You see this. You see this sort of kind of beacon, golden beacon shining on top of the stairs, and the remaining Dragonborn start beating their chests and chanting Interconic, Draxus Goldmane, Draxus Goldmane, Draxus Goldmane. With that, we're going to fast forward everything, and we're going to say because I think people need to leave soon. So we'll say Tharvel makes his way back in. Tharvel and Ceravel make their way back and report their findings to you.
It is I. We have returned.
We have returned.
For the first time.
Okay.
Oh, do you want me? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you, it could be at this point in time. It's 4 days on, so there's other things have happened. But you basically come back into the square where everybody is, and basically tell them of the enemy forces that are sort of coming in this direction. And then Ceravel can obviously tell them about the
His epic speech.
his epic speech.
Oh, do you want me to do this? Or?
Oh no, that's fine. Okay, fine. We can say you've done it. You know.
I thought you were just telling me that's what's happening.
No,
I explain things.
yeah, I explain things to everybody. So
Wordy stuff happened.
yeah,
Great detail.
Okay, so you explain everything to them. You explain to them that the Ristva, the Bastion, the Ristva Bastion is, it won't send any reinforcements because it wants to make sure that the enemy doesn't get behind them. You say about the enemy forces that are coming in this direction, and that they would probably be. Actually, let me do a quick. It's going to be
A long, long time.
they are going to be
Glad to hear.
so they were there 5 10 15 20 20 probably going to take it's probably going to be about 3 days before the first unit sort of get to you, so you've got an extra 3 days before you they're in front of you. So that gives you 6 days in total to do stuff before the enemy sort of approaches. With that, I'm going to have like an emissary just approach. As you're manning the walls and doing your daily tasks before the siege. there. An emissary sort of or you see a horse, a dark horse making its way north. It rides to the gates of the southern ramparts, and you hear a call out, "Who would treat with me? I would like to speak to who is in charge. I have much to discuss."
Arno
So
looks
the
over at
top-
Lance.
Stood atop the battlement, so I look at him. I look across to the others. I nod to Tharavel. I don't think we want to hear anything from him. He can be the message.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
I think nothing good would come from his mouth.
Yep.
Save his
Listen,
tongue if I
Oh.
cut it out.
You see that
Oh,
emissary?
come on.
I don't
oh, come
want
on.
to.
Oh, come on, my friend. Let's hear what entertaining words he spews.
We've had.
Can
too
I
much
put gold on
experience.
how many threats?
Nothing will come of
We-
this. He will sow discord.
We don't have to let him leave. Let's just see what their angle is.
I turn to Tharavel. Old friend, I need a favor.
How far is he?
What is the favor?
I don't. I want him to shut up.
Permanently.
Tharavel, so he looks at the ground and he kind of giggles, and he, as much as he does want to put an arrow in the head, he turns and points at Arno and says, I
Arno
agree with
steps forward.
I think he's
Arno
saying- he's
steps
actually-
forward, and he just goes, "I will treat with you."
The,
And he hovers above the battlements in his full gleaming armor.
And he casts light on the gleaming armor, and it's more like blinding light.
the emissary on the horse looks up and says, "Well, hey, isn't it the all right, no, he says, "Well."
Arno just goes, "Dragon Slayer."
Ah, yes, we have heard tales of your bravery. Could you come down here and join me, so I may speak of such bravery?
I think not.
You don't trust me? I am under a flag of parley. You can trust me.
A flag that means nothing. Now speak, or forfeit your life.
He laughs. You have no idea what comes for you, little man. You have no idea. None of you do. I am here to give you all a chance.
I indicate for Draxos to step forward so that he's in sight. I think we have a fairly good idea of what is coming, courtesy of our new friend here.
He looks, and you sort of gauge from his look that he is somewhat shocked at the presence of somebody who is not Kiamat Redscale. He
Does he recognize him that it is Kiamat, though?
yeah, I
If
suppose
he's
he
a
would.
different color?
Yeah, I suppose he wouldn't. He goes, "Who is this beast you have upon the wall?" Draxus says, "I am Draxus Goldmane, and these are my men, the Gold Company. We will take you down and your sniveling leader. I will take my throne, and I will be make sure that the darkness does not fall upon this land. He says, "Be gone with you, or I will have your head." The emissary turns to him and says, "So, the Red Witches have been disposed of. A shame. A shame. I guess it was bound to happen. You were a good tool, though, Kiamat. So much death on your hands, on your men's hands. Is
Seren
this what
draws
these
her
people...
bow.
That again?
Seren draws her bow and points it at him and says, "And your death will be on my hand unless you turn and walk away."
He, roll intimidation. Is that a crit fail on a 21? How does that work?
Hell,
How did that work? How does that happen?
no idea.
1 plus 10 plus 5.
Oh, hang on, I've still
One
got a
of
sneak
them is a
attack
crit
tick.
fail. One of them is a crit fail.
I've still got a sneak attack
So-
tick. That might have something to do with it.
Oh, sneak attack. Gotcha.
Sneak attack.
He just laughs in your face, basically.
Yeah, he
No,
just
no,
he just looks at you and just go and he loudly roars with laughter. And
How rude.
he just says, "You will be first to die, she-elf. I will make it so. Go."
I
Go on.
He
Sorry,
and then he
I
says,
manifest an echo. I manifest an echo
Wait.
next to him.
Wait. It says before you manifest something, I think we can get more out of this emissary than we let on. Just let me have a crack. I want to get his
How so,
secrets.
Gadden? How so?
He cast Geas.
you place a magic command on a creature that you can see within range, forcing it to carry out service or refrain from some action or course of activity. If the creature can understand you, it must succeed a wisdom saving throw or become charmed by you. Duration while the creature is charmed, it takes d5d10 psychic damage each time it acts in a manner directly counter to your instructions. Okay.
Damn.
I don't have a stat for him, but I'm going to give him a bonus to his d20 though, because he's not going to be a basic champ. Well, it doesn't really matter on it anyway. Yeah, fine.
No, his eyes glow white with the fervent judgment that is that Bahamut has bestowed upon him, and he says, "You will obey our commands."
I will
And-
obey your commands.
And so his eyes flash bright white, and so does the emissaries. And then he turns to the rest of the party and he says, "We have him for 30 days maximum before the spell runs out. So I'm going to suggest that we learn everything from him, including the battle formations, and then slit his throat. Don't let the emissary leave."
Fine, but-
He's not
I can get
charmed
behind
though,
that.
is he? He's still his own man. If he tries to resist, though, he'll take damage. So
Exactly.
Matt, you don't have to act charmed like
No.
I obey your
Oh,
command.
okay. All right.
It's just
So,
yeah.
And then he'll just
He'll
look.
probably find out the hard way,
Yeah.
but that's fine.
So then he goes and looks at the emissary and he says, "So you have a choice here. I know you would like to see slaughter all of us dead in some way, shape, or form, and we would like to kill you. But the reality here is we have to play the smart game, and we know things, but we would like to know more. So you can walk away and die immediately, or you can come with us and die a slow death. Which death would you like?"
He, knowing
I love
he's a dead duck, irrespective of it, and not wanting to, because he's got control of himself, he just will take damage if he doesn't. He, he takes out a blade. As he does so, you see him sort of wincing in pain. And he says,
And he,
sorry, carry on.
so as soon as he sees him take out the blade, he says, no, no, no. And then he can feel the gas stopping him from taking the blade and doing the intention that he thinks it is, which is to kill himself.
So
Did I
he
mention
takes what, 5d10 damage, does he?
Yes.
14. Okay. Does he take the damage and carry out the action though? What's it say? So it takes
No, it
5d6
stops
Let's
him.
see.
mana directly.
Oh no, it says he becomes charmed by you. While it's charmed by you, it takes the damage each time it acts in a manner.
But no more
After the
than once
instructions,
each
but
day.
no more than once a day. Yeah.
I can't
I
understand.
I think he can still try and kill himself.
You can, yeah, but that will be my warning to say don't do it.
Okay,
Yeah,
roll
okay,
me,
so
roll
it's
me,
just the
roll
one.
me an. You can roll me an intimidation with advantage then.
Thank you very much. Intimidation. Do I have toggle on? I do, don't I? Advantage. Ew.
He he takes the damage and he says, is he going to say something? I'm trying to think of something epic he can say before he stabs himself in the heart.
Terrible. Can you shoot
Can,
this out of his
can
hand?
Tharavel have a reaction?
Yeah, go on then. You can have a reaction.
Can you shoot it out of his hand?
Pew pew! I don't really need to add, it's just need to make the hit, basically.
Okay, you hit.
Take his hand
I'm
clean
assuming
off.
you're just sort of like pin his hand to his chest,
Uh,
sort of thing.
Yeah, so Tharavel, he sees him going for the knife, and he sort of, as he raises it up, he shoots his hand with the knife, and he sort of approaches him as he does this, and he draws the bow. Actually, no, he's not even going to draw the bow. He just says he just sort of starts to search him for any other weapons or anything that he can cause himself
Wait a minute,
harm.
aren't you on the battlements with us?
Where is he? I don't know.
He's just at the
I thought
front.
we
He's
were
at
all-
the front. He's at the front, sort of like on
around
the
the
moat.
battlements?
Yeah, you're on the battlements, but yeah, it's fine. If you
Oh,
just-
okay.
If you just want to sort of Legolas it down, sort of.
So basically, yeah, he just basically approaches him, and he starts to remove any, sort of items on him that could cause him damage. And he's like,
Woo, free gear.
"You don't get to decide when you die. You forfeit that when you set foot on these shores." And he sort of grabs him by the scruff and starts to pull him in to the bastion. Or into the sanctuary.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. He's as a creature, he's sort of he's another corrupted elf. Very scarred, very sort of gray-skinned, red eyes, more orcish, I guess. Sort of look like Anatar from.
Like a drow.
Yeah, sort of thing. But yeah, okay, that's fine. Cool. You've got a prisoner. You can interrogate him. I guess you can use that time to sort of interrogate him. I guess we'll leave it there then. So we're not going to be on next week then, pretty much, because I think Barty and Arno aren't around.
Oh, somebody dropped off.
Nope.
You're not around then the week after. Do you want us to wait? Because it's going to
I'm
be
gone for 2 weeks.
So you're not back
Okay.
until
Is anyone else off on half term or no?
when is half term?
Not next week,
Week
week
after
after.
next.
It's week after next, and the
Last
week.
in
Well,
May.
we've got 2 weeks. Yeah, we've got
I've just
2
got
weeks
1 week.
here.
I'm not going anywhere. But
Okay.
So 29th and 5th. So it's going to be either we wait for 3 weeks for so it would be the 12th. I'm guessing you would like to be here for the start of the siege.
Yeah, but obviously I can't hold the group hostage for 3 weeks. I might be able to do next week still, but
Unless we can change a day or something like that. But
Yeah. Like, let's get different options out.
Okay.
Other than that.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll figure it out, and we'll think. So we're probably not going to be. We'll figure something out. We may or may not be here next week. But in the
yeah,
next
it
couple of
depends
weeks.
on if Lecky can do next week, then I'll make sure I can do it.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll sort that out. We will finish off. You just tell me what you're going to do over the next 6 days. I will sort everything out for the next session for the siege itself. And yeah, that'll be it, I guess. So for tonight, I've been Mercury. With me has been Conrad as Arno Jerkel.
I don't have a grapefruit, but I found a melon.
Brilliant.
Michael is Tharavel Eldon.
Michael?
Michael?
Oh, I thought
did
there
you
was
not hear that? I just shouted. I literally just shouted. No, obviously didn't hear me.
Yeah,
Like,
noise cap
nothing.
stopped.
Jace as Brother Gadden.
Because I just want to stop these Dragonborn.
Lecky as Bartholomew Pringle.
Good night, everyone.
Mark as Lance.
I'm not entirely sure how I get talked into these things.
And Vic as Saren Sanguine.
I just wanted to do one little stabby.